Hi, Jenny. Thanks for taking some time to hang out with us today so we can get to know you a little bit more. Can you let us know your role at Child Success Center?
Yes, I'm a speech language pathologist.
And how long have you been a speech therapist?
So I started in the field 4 years ago, and then I joined the CSC team about 6 months ago when I moved to LA from Chicago.
Great. And what drew you to become a speech therapist? What do you love about it?
I think it was my first year as an undergraduate. I observed at a pediatric clinic, kind of looking at PT, OT, and speech,
Yeah.
and I just really fell in love with the field of speech language pathology and really find value in helping kids communicate.
Great. And I've watched you treat at the center, and I see your eyes light up when the kids come in the door and how much they love you. And from early intervention, you've told me about your love of helping those the children that are delayed talkers and having difficulty and really analyzing. We co-treat a child together. So analyzing and finding out why and what's going on. Tell me a little bit about how you access a young child. Often they don't speak, so it's hard for you to hear about how much language they have. And how would you help a parent understand about how you're going to assess their child when they're little like that and they come
Yeah, I think the first thing is just kind of get in the child's world and really try to engage with them and figure out, how to support their language at what level they're at. And an area that I actually specialized in is called AAC, or Augmentative and Alternative Communication. And sometimes for those kiddos who have not yet developed language, I will try to help problem solve and come up with a solution to help the child either supplement their speech or replace it if they're not yet talking. So something like a device or a picture communication system. So for those young children that aren't yet communicating, I like to see if that route can help support them and their families.
in? Yeah, and I think helping people understand that's the wonderful world of speech and language pathology is that you're assessing and supporting all aspects of communication and working collaboratively with occupational therapists at Child Success Center. I see you all the time in the OT office working out how do you regulate a child, to elongate their attention, to help with their communication. And what drew you to want to work in a multisensory, multidisciplinary environment?
I just love the opportunities to collaborate among disciplines and really kind of look at the child from that whole picture lens, the whole child approach, and see, is there something I'm missing? Can an OT look at this child from a different lens, or a PT, and kind of all work together to best support the child and the family?
Because it is really complicated with children. I know often when we work collaboratively together, there's many reasons parents will come in, and the most obvious is that the expressive language
Hmm.
is not at an age appropriate level. But sometimes it's not necessarily an underlying language processing difficulty. Sometimes it lives somewhere else, yet speech therapists need to be on board to help support that development. And I know one of the areas speech and language pathologists also work on is social. Can you tell me a little bit about what you use to help children with social skill development?
Yeah, an approach that I am trained in and really have found success with a lot of my kids is called social thinking. And it's an approach to help kids think about different perspectives and to think about thinking. So that metacognition skill to really help them um, adapt their behaviors and their communication to others in their environment. And I found a lot of kids will really open up and realize the perspectives of others and have a lot more success socially when they've been doing social thinking.
Yeah, it really is a great frame of reference, and the occupational therapists at CSC and speech therapists all work collaboratively, being that we have a gym and an area where kids can move their bodies. That's a great way for them to interact and to think about others.
Definitely.
Yeah. So now that we are in a telehealth world right now for a short period of time, hopefully, can you tell me a success story or how you've been using telehealth as a way to access and keep your kids developing?
Yeah, so a fun way I've been using telehealth with my older kids is to make it kind of game-like and competitive, since a lot of them, I get a lot more buy-in and engagement when I make it more of like a game. So I've been using language games to work on things like multiple meanings words, idioms, inferences, all of that higher level language skills for these older kids, and kind of making it into like a Jeopardy game or Who Wants to Be a Millionaire game. And not only are they really enjoying it, and I'm finding they don't want to leave the calls, but they're continuing to develop their language skills during this time where we have to stay at home instead of seeing
Yeah.
them at the clinic.
That's great. And I think sometimes parents don't realize that higher level language support does still fall in the role of a speech and language therapist, can really help with higher level language, because that will cause challenges with learning, with comprehension, with written expression, with following directions in the classroom. So working closely with our educational therapists too, to make sure that the children have the underlying language skills. So that sounds like a lot of fun. Would you ever choose to use telehealth again? I know once we are all able to be face to face with our kids, because we love and get so much joy out of seeing them and being with them. Is this something you see you could use again if, say, a child is sick and parents want to do a session at home?
Yeah, definitely. And, it's something that I never would have considered before all this happened. But now that I'm doing it on a regular basis, I am finding success. And I do think there's worth in doing a telehealth session if we're not able to be in person. And I'm seeing progress with my kids via telehealth. So I would
Yeah,
use
I
it.
agree. Well, thank you, Jenny. Thanks so much for your time. It was great to talk to you today.
Yeah, of course. See ya.
Bye.